my name is Nahir, and I'm just one girl trying not to have a mental breakdown. It is not the same without Lily. It's not. It just doesn't work. Anyways, welcome to Self-Love Week. Because me and Lily live basically like 40 minutes away from each other, around 40 to 45 minutes away from each other, since she lives down in Atlanta and I'm here at home, we decided, because we could not get together, it was literally impossible, we decided to do 2 solo episodes. So this episode is just going to be you and me, and then next episode is going to be her and you guys. We decided to do a self-love week because since Valentine's Day is next week, we thought what a beautiful way to talk about love and most importantly self-love when it comes to, a relationship with yourself. And I think it's really important, especially with Valentine's Day. Everyone, is kind of always talking about, the person that they love, whether that be like a boyfriend or their husband or something. And a lot of times we forget in this kind of world, in this kind of society, that love or Valentine's Day can also be extended towards yourself. It doesn't always have to be extended towards a significant other of some sorts. So we thought it would be a good idea to talk about self-love and how we take care of ourselves and our bodies whenever we're feeling down, or when we just need a day off, or when we want to give ourselves extra me time. So I'm just going to start off with talking about some little life updates, because a lot of things have happened in the past week or so since we've filmed our last episode together. I think the last time we filmed was like 2 to 3 weeks ago when we were actually together. But since then, I have found out my internship from Year Up, and I am so freaking excited to start. There's been a couple of mishaps as to my start date. Also, if I sound like I have a lisp, it's because I have my Invisalign aligners in. I'm too lazy to take them out, guys. I apologize. So you're just gonna have to make fun of me throughout this entire podcast episode because I have a lisp. But yeah, so I found out my internship. And I don't really want to say where it's at necessarily, just in case there's some creepy people out there that try to find me. I've been watching a lot of You on Netflix. Honestly, I finished the whole series in like 3 days. So it's kind of been in the back of my mind ever since I've watched it, how easy it is for someone to find you on the internet and literally track you down. So until I know it's safe out there, I'm just going to keep, that to myself. I might reveal it after I complete my internship, after 6 months. That is if I am not hired. So yeah, but I'm excited because, originally I was supposed to start, I think, January 28th, but because of paperwork and other things, they had to push back a lot of students and their start dates towards their internship. So I'm one of the lucky few that got pushed back. But it's cool because this opportunity is still here. It's not going anywhere. So right now I just get to chill and mentally prepare myself for working in a corporate environment. But I'm super excited. My role in the internship is a support engineer. So if you don't know, I am a coding student. I love to program. And so my role is to basically release patches of software, develop them. Right now, I talked to my manager when I went to go do the meet and greet at my internship, and she basically said that we're going to be working on a lot of back-end things, which I love. Java is kind of the number one language that I'm the most comfortable with. I started learning Python a little bit too, but for right now, Java is like the number one thing that we have spent the most time studying and working with and developing programs with. So I'm really excited for that. That's my role. And then my job description also said that towards the later end of why am I talking like this? My job description also stated that towards the later end of my internship, I will be debugging a little bit too. So that's exciting. I'm excited. Another thing that just happened to me, guys, is I am so dumb. Okay, I am sharing this story with you so that you will all learn from it and don't make the same mistake that I did. So I don't know if a lot of you guys know who Kayla Itzines is, but she is basically a fitness and lifestyle personal trainer on Instagram. And she has an app called the Sweat app. It basically has her workout program, along with other trainers. And I downloaded the app, and one day I was looking at it and I made an account and I clicked on the year-long subscription without even realizing that I clicked on it. I don't know why. And my thumb was on my home button, and I have an iPhone, and it, when you have an iPhone, well, at least for me anyways, my debit card is connected to my iTunes. And so whenever I have my thumb on the home button, it verifies that I bought a certain purchase or item or whatever. And because my thumb was on the home button while I clicked on the year-long subscription, which was $120, okay? Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Cheeses and rice. That one's for you, Parker. It basically stated that I verified the purchase of the whole app. So now I have her Sweat app for a year. $120 just gone. I tried to contact Apple. I tried, to get a refund and stuff, but because it's a subscription, somehow it's not eligible for a refund. So all I could do was cancel the annual subscription, which kind of sucks. But, I didn't really have the money to be paying $120 just right off the bat. If I did, I would be, having a gym membership because it's only $10 a month. But here I am. And so I've been using it for about a week now. And let me tell you, I could not move my body at all last week. Last week, I just wanted to lay in bed because every single square inch of my body and my soul, okay, was literally just dead. I could not physically move. Everything hurt so bad. I was so sore. And the crazy thing is that each workout is 30 minutes long. So it's not, you would think it's not that intense, but they're basically circuit workouts. So there's 4 exercises in each circuit, and you complete each circuit straight for 7 minutes. And after 7 minutes, you get a 1-minute break, and you kind of complete the circuit as hard and as much, well, not as hard, but as much as possible as you can. You try not to stop, and they're tiring, guys. But yeah, I've done it for a week, so can't say that I have seen any results because it's only been a week. But I'm gonna keep doing it, I guess, because I paid for it, so I got to use it. Another thing with me that I'm really excited about is I am seeing Waitress at the Fox on Saturday with my boyfriend. I actually bought us tickets. It was part of his Christmas gift, but I bought us tickets to see Waitress. We both really like musicals and shows, and so I thought it would be a really good idea to buy an experience or an outing instead of something a personal or a, what's that called? An object, I guess, a materialistic object. So yeah, so I bought us tickets to Waitress, and I've never been at the Fox. I've never been to the Fox, so I'm really excited. And I haven't seen a play or musical in, I want to say a year or so, maybe a little bit more, and that makes me so sad. I love theater and acting and plays and musicals, and so I'm really excited. So that's something to look forward to on Saturday. We also just had our 8 months too, so woo, go us. And then one last thing I want to update you guys on is last week I also tried something crazy. So on top of using the Sweat app from Kayla Itzines, I also tried intermittent fasting. Is that how you say it? Basically, I was on Instagram and I followed Chelsea Jade Curtis, which if you don't know, she has a podcast called What We Said Podcast with one of her best friends, JC Marie Smith, who's a social media influencer. And she basically posted on her Instagram story her blog post about her experience doing intermittent fasting and the benefits of intermittent fasting. I'm really hoping that I'm saying that right, because if I'm not, cheeses and rice. So I tried it for a week and it was just kind of interesting. I'm thinking of doing a video talking about my experience more. I will say that it was it was kind of nice not having to think about food constantly. The one thing that I will say is that because there's different kinds of intermittent fastings that you can do. So I was doing the 14-10, I believe, which is 14 hours of fasting and then 10 hours of eating. So you have a 10-hour window that you can eat your meals. And so I would usually try to eat breakfast by 10 and then stop eating by 8. I felt like that was like a good kind of window to eat. And it wasn't that bad. Like I wouldn't really get hungry. I would kind of just listen to my body. I would have breakfast around 10, usually like a bowl of oatmeal or so. And then I would have like a really big lunch around like 2 or 3, just depending whenever I got out of my program or whatever, or out of class. I will say that towards the end, like Saturday and Sunday, I started getting headaches. And I don't know, it might be related to intermittent fasting. Sorry guys, my dog, Mrs. Biggs, she's like a long-haired Chihuahua. She just got leg surgery. She tore her ACL about, I think in like November, and we were able to schedule her surgery in January. And oh my God, you're scaring me. Ah! Hopefully she's not making too much noise, but she has a huge cone. Mrs. Biggs, calm down. She has a huge cone on her head. And she's like walks around kind of like wobbling because it's like in her way, and she like runs into walls. She's a goofy little monkey, but she just ran down the stairs, which she's not supposed to do. You're not supposed to run or jump or use the stairs at all, silly goober. So now she's with me. So what I was talking about was intermittent fasting. So I did notice that I was having headaches towards the end. The window that I was eating at, even though I was, allowing myself like 10 hours of a window time to eat my meals, I would find myself, eating like a really late lunch, even though it was really big and I wasn't really super hungry by the time I went to bed. I would still kind of skip dinner. To each their own. I think I'm going to do a bigger video about it. And I don't know why I tried it. I just kind of wanted to see, what the hype was about and see if I felt any different. It was just kind of like a little experiment that I did to myself or for myself for a week, just to see, what would happen. Yeah, so that's just my life updates. So now I'm going to get into self-love and how I show myself self-love or love. I don't know. That sounds kind of weird. These are just little things that I like to do that make me happy at the end of the day. If I'm ever feeling overwhelmed or drained, I like to do these little things, and they just bring my mood up. I think that's the whole point of self-love, is sometimes life can take a toll on you, whether that be physically or mentally, and you need just time to yourself. You need a break from life and all its stressors. Oh my God, try saying that 3 times fast. Stressors, stressors, stressors with the liners in. Jesus, cheeses and rice. So I want to say that a big thing that I really love to do every morning is wake up and drink a big old cup of tea. I am a huge tea drinker. If you don't know that about me, I drink more tea than coffee. Mainly, I don't really drink coffee, mainly because every single time I do, I start shaking, like literally shaking. One time I was driving down the road and I had like a grande, like I think soy milk latte from Starbucks, and I was so scared that I was going to crash into the car into me because I was shaking so bad. Like I could not focus. It was like wild. So for that reason, I don't really drink that much coffee. It might be because of the espresso that is in it, but So I kind of like to stick with teas, and a lot of the teas that I really like are yogi teas. I just like that they have little sayings and mantras on the little ends of the tea bags. It's just like a nice little thing to wake up to in the morning and start your day off right with a little mantra. And they're usually revolving around love and compassion and happiness. And so it makes me happy. A lot of times I like to also drink tea and like journal. I haven't been journaling that much. In January, I was really, really good at it. at least in the beginning of January. I would journal every single night with my cup of tea or in the morning with my cup of tea. But recently I've kind of stopped doing that. So I need to get back into it because it was nice just being able to clear my head and decompress from the day. Yeah, I would suggest that. If you're feeling like your head is clouded all the time from everyday life, or you feel bottled up and you don't really know how to express the way that you're feeling, I would suggest writing your thoughts down, because it's really eye-opening, especially like when you read past journal entries from like months ago and you see the growth in, yourself and in your thoughts. You realize like, oh, I have changed. Like, this is so crazy. Like, this is what I was worried about then. This is like, what? That was so little, when this is what I'm worried about now. Or, just stuff like that. It's good to have little things like that and write down your feelings and such. Since, at least for me, I tend to bottle things up. So I wouldn't suggest that. So that's why I journal. Another little thing that I really love to do is having like a spa night. And I do this a lot, actually. Usually I do this on the weekends, like on Friday or Sunday, when I'm trying to, forget about the week that I had before me, if it was a really bad week or whatever, or if I just felt like I don't know. Or if I'm trying to get ready for the week and I want to have a little spa night and be pampered or pamper myself for the week ahead of me. So a lot of times I like to do face masks. I use a Aztec clay face mask, and it's really, really nice. It like opens up your pores. You just mix it in with a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and I think it's like a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to like a tablespoon of the clay like powder, and you mix it together and it makes a mask, and it's like a really big container. I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about. Everyone raves about it and uses it, but that one is really, really awesome, especially if I feel like I have any breakouts coming. I just put on that mask and it just makes my face feel really smooth and soft, and it brings all the impurities out of your pores. So that's what I really like doing. I've also been using hair masks. So I've been making my own hair masks, really, really simple. All I do is get coconut oil and put it on my hair. That's literally all I do, guys. I am not efficient, or I don't know what's that word. Like I'm just so lazy. So I like one ingredient little things that I can do very quick and easy. So a lot of times on the days that I wash my hair, I like to put on the mask like 2 hours before, so like an hour or two before I actually want to take my shower. That way my hair is soaking in the nutrients of the coconut oil, and then when I wash my hair just comes out super shiny, super clean, super healthy. And I have noticed a huge difference, especially in my frizz. So for all you frizzy hair girls, do hair masks, and coconut oil is inexpensive and it's really easy, and it's natural too, so there's not going to be any gross chemicals going into your hair. On the days that I also do spa nights, I like to paint my nails. I have a whole video on what vegan nail polishes I like to use, but I like to paint my nails. I match it with the season sometimes. Sometimes I'm feeling frisky and I, wear pink or whatever in like the winter. But I like to have my nails done sometimes. I think it looks really, really nice. But also clean nails kind of look nice too. So I'm kind of, I don't know, I go in and out. Some weeks I paint my nails, some weeks I don't. And then I like to just relax and like watch Netflix. And sometimes, since it is on the weekends usually when I do this, I like to treat myself to a little bit of chocolate or ice cream or both. Yeah, so I just kind of like to decompress from my day and just watch Netflix while I'm like painting my nails or waiting for my face mask to dry. Recently, this is gonna sound so dumb because I'm 20 years old, but recently, you guys, I have been watching We Bare Bears on Netflix, and I know it's a kid's show, okay, but it is the funniest kid's show I have ever seen. I realize how much of a kid I am at heart, because whenever I crave a new show or something to watch, I always want to watch cartoons. And We Bare Bears is just like the perfect, I can't even describe it, but my whole family has been watching it. At least me, my little sisters, and my brother, who is 22, and he approves of it. We've been watching it. Actually, last night I was watching it for like I want to say like 2 to 3 hours with my sisters. But it's really cool because every episode, I think on Netflix, is like 10 to 15 minutes. And so they're not really that long, and you go through the whole season like in an hour or so. So it's like really nice. And they're cartoons, like they're really fun. You know, who doesn't like Saturday morning cartoons or whatever? So that's what I do. Another little thing that I really, really have been enjoying lately, and I have since like December, is using my essential oil diffuser. I just think it makes my whole room super cozy, and it makes my room smell wonderful. I have it on right now. I use my favorite scent, or my favorite essential oil that I have been using is the lemongrass essential oil, and it just makes my whole room smell like lemongrass and lemons, and it's beautiful. And a lot of times I like to turn it on with a couple of candles. I have a Bath & Body Works candle turned on right now called Sweet Fern that my boyfriend got for me for Christmas as well. And I turned on my salt lamp, and it just kind of makes my whole room just kind of feel like a sanctuary, as your room should feel like a sanctuary. Your home or your room, you know, depending on if you live with your parents or not, should feel like your safe space where you can, you know, get away from the world and just kind of escape for a little bit. And I like to turn on my little lights. They're not little fairy lights, but they're little lights. And it just makes my whole room really cozy and warm. And I like just breathing in that good essential oil, you know what I mean? And a lot of times, you know, when I turn on all of these fancy little things, I love to read, pick up my book, whatever book I'm reading at the moment, and read and drink a big cup of tea and just relax and decompress after a long, hard day. That sounds really good right now too. Like maybe I'll go do that after I finish filming this podcast. Or not filming, but after I finish recording this podcast. I just love to read, guys. Like, geez. Reading with, you know, tea in your hand and some candles is like literally the end to a perfect day in my eyes. You know, everyone's different, but in my eyes, that's what I love to do. And then another thing, if I'm ever feeling not as drained, I like to go on hikes and just being one with nature. I love going on hikes, especially if I have like a podcast or a couple of podcast episodes that I'm behind on and I need to catch up with, or if I have an album that I really, really want to listen to but haven't had the time. I like going on really long hikes and just listening to, you know, the music or the album or the podcasts. It just, you know, lets you be in your thoughts. So like sometimes halfway through the hike, I listen to my podcast or music, and then halfway I just take out my earbuds and then just be one, you know, with the earth. That sounds so hippie, but there's something about, you know, just enveloping yourself in the middle of the woods or the forest and just being in your thoughts and thinking and just listening to the birds and like the squirrels. It's epic, man. Like that's another perfect day all in itself. So I usually do those on the weekends though. I usually go on hikes on the weekends just because I don't have as much time anymore, sadly, to go hiking since I'm always at school, and now I'm going to start my internship. So, but it's the little things like that you enjoy and you realize, oh, life is beautiful. So beautiful. And then another thing that I have found is that I really, really love baking and cooking and being in the kitchen and trying new recipes. I have been binging this YouTube channel called Binging with Babish, and I spend hours and hours just watching this guy cook. Some episodes are a little bit gross because I was watching, oh my gosh, I can speak. I was watching an episode where he was cooking recipes from different TV shows, and then the episode that I was watching, or in the video that I was watching, it was a pigeon pie from Game of Thrones, and he used like pigeon meat, okay? And it was so disgusting, and me being vegan, like I had to skip through that because it wasn't just because it was a pigeon, but it was just a lot of meat. And it was weird looking meat, and it was kind of gross, but the rest of his videos were really interesting. He does a lot of like recipe videos on TV shows that have like little little meals in them, and so he tries to recreate those meals from those TV shows, and it's really interesting. He's a really creative guy, and his voiceovers are really funny. So I've been watching him like on repeat late at night when I should be going to bed, but I'm not. I'm just watching Babish. On Netflix, I've really been loving The Great British Bake Off. I think that's what it's called. It is so good, and for some reason, I started on season 5, which I thought I started on season 1, but I guess not. So I'm in the like 6th or 7th episode of season 5, so I'm almost done with it, but it has literally inspired me to bake and cook more. Like, I want to bake loaves of bread and cakes and cupcakes and play with fondant. Fondant? I don't know. I just, guys, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I have a super huge sweet tooth. Fun fact about me, I have to eat something sweet like after every meal. Other than breakfast, I've noticed. For the most part, whenever I eat breakfast, it's like oatmeal with fruit, so it's already sweet as it is. But with like lunch and dinner, like I have to eat like a little date or a little piece of chocolate or something because I crave sweets. That's why I had 6 cavities. Oh, geez. But yeah. Oh, let me tell you another embarrassing story. So last week I was watching The Great British Bake Off, and I was watching like episodes back to back. And I think it was like Friday or so. And I took a nap. It was like 3, maybe 4 in the afternoon. I took a nap, and I kid you not, I was dreaming that I had a bunch of cakes and pies and cookies and sweets and pastries in front of me, and I was eating them. Okay, best dream I've ever had, first of all. It was beautiful. And then I woke up, and oh my God, it's so embarrassing. I woke up and I had drool just like all over my pillow. Like, it was so gross. But it was such a good dream. I wish I could go back. Don't you wish you could like dream the same dreams that you've had before? Like good dreams, not nightmares, of course. I don't think anyone would want to relive a nightmare, but really, really good dreams like that. Like just eating cupcakes and cakes and pastries and stuff. Ugh, beautiful. So that is kind of an indicator as to how much of The Great British Bake Off I watch and how much baking and cooking videos I watch. I will say I've kind of been more into baking rather than cooking. I just think it's really fun to make something sweet and then share it with everyone. I recently just made banana nut muffins, and I brought it to my program, and then I shared it with everybody, and everyone really liked it, so I'm really proud of myself, because a lot of times, you say something is vegan and it's like, ew, that's disgusting, but if you don't tell them and they eat it and they're like really shocked, I don't know, it just makes me feel good. I'm like, yes, I am a baker. I am a chef. I literally say those words every single time I make a meal. Like yesterday, I was making spaghetti, and guys, my spaghetti is thebomb.com. I just throw a bunch of vegetables in there with some Italian seasoning, some Barilla, I think traditional sauce, some like, normal pasta spaghetti sauce. It had broccoli, Brussels sprouts. It had a little bit of garlic and onion, red onion. It had, I'm trying to think, cauliflower. It just had a bunch of vegetables. I love, 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 love eating spaghetti with vegetables. I'm going to eat it for lunch actually today because I had leftovers, which I am so freaking excited for. But yeah, it had like Italian seasonings, pepper, salt, thyme. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful creation. And every single time I cook, I always say out loud to myself, I kiss my hands. I go, I'm a chef. I don't know what it is, but it's just one of my little quirks. And the other day I actually made apple muffins from a recipe that I found on YouTube. I forgot the name of the channel, but she's like a vegan baker. I think her name is like Gretchen or something like that. Gretchen's Vegan Bakery or something. I don't remember. I'm sorry. But I'm sure you could YouTube it or Google it and you'd find it. But she made like these apple muffins and they were delicious. Okay, I ate like 6 of them. My family loved them. I loved them. They were really good. They're really good. I have no self-control whenever I bake, because you just want to eat all the treats that you made. You just worked so hard in the kitchen, and you want to share your creation with other people, but you also want to enjoy it yourself. And then for me, I enjoy it a little bit too much. So I need to learn that when I bake treats and stuff to save myself like 1 or 2 little pieces and then, distribute them or share them with like friends and family. So guys, that is how I do self-love, how I care for myself. I don't even know what else to talk about. I feel like I've talked about so much. How do people, talk for hours and hours on end? These are just some little things that I like to do for self-love, things that I will probably do on Valentine's Day to give myself a little bit, I don't know, a little bit of happiness and warmth inside. I think also too, watching YouTube videos and just relaxing. I didn't talk about YouTube, but watching your favorite YouTubers or people that make you feel good or make you laugh at the end of the day, even hanging out with like friends or family that make you laugh is a good way to, give yourself self-love. If you feel like you've been neglecting your friends, because you guys are both busy or whatever, scheduling a time to meet each other and just hang out, get lunch. It doesn't have to be like an all day kind of thing. It can be, just something as simple as getting lunch or dinner or seeing a movie, or going ice skating. I don't know, going to the park and going hiking, just something small, shows people that you still care about them. A lot of times my self-love or the things that I do to show my self-love and to decompress from the day always kind of revolves around being by myself, just because I feel like I am more towards an introvert than towards an extrovert. I don't know. But a lot of times when I'm in a room with a lot of people, I can become physically drained from just talking all day. Like I just don't want to talk to anyone. I don't know if that sounds bad or if anyone else can relate, but I just like to be alone, sometimes a little bit too much, and I need to push myself out of that comfort zone. But a lot of times I just feel so drained from being around other people that I need time to just be by myself, meditate a little bit, think about my thoughts, write them down, read someone else's thoughts. I've been reading Rupi Kaur's Milk and Honey poetry book, and it is so beyond beautiful. Like, it has inspired me to write poetry. I haven't started writing any poetry. I used to write a lot of poetry and like song lyrics and stuff back in my prime, in my high school days, and I think I'm going to start doing that. The fact that she has shared, those kind of personal, intimate thoughts with millions and millions of people in this book is insane to me, because it's so intimate, but it's really nice to read someone else's thoughts and what they've been through in life. So yeah, that's me. That's everything. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast episode. I know I'm going to try to upload it hopefully on Tuesday. I can get this done. If I edit it right now, like after I film this, I can get it done. I know I can. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for Lily's solo episode next week. I'm excited to listen to hers and see what she does for her self-love. Don't forget to repost our stories and our Instagram posts and tag us at 1998 podcast. Also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at 1998 podcast, and we are also on SoundCloud. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the week. Don't forget to give yourself a little bit of love here and there. Don't neglect your bodies, guys. Don't neglect your minds, because they are with you forever, until the day that you leave this beautiful earth. So I will leave on that note. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. My name is Nahir. I'm just one girl trying not to have a mental breakdown. Peace and out.